So last night we got ourselves a significant frost. Okay, enough to put even the hardiest fig trees to sleep. It's time to go to bed, and as you can see by the leaves on the ground, all these guys have dropped their leaves, or the majority of them. Okay, some leaves are still on, but they're basically just waiting to come off. The tree is dormant. It's over. If you look here, here's my my Atriano, and you could feel the leaf. It's got no life in it, even though it's still green. Look, it even just fell off. Okay, that's how you can tell. What you want to do here is you want to pull off the leaves, pull off the figs. You want to put your tree to bed for the winter without anything on it. Okay, so I pretty much have a significant cleanup here that I'm going to need to do. Look, there's no sap. You know, had this tree been awake, there would have been white fig latex dripping all over the place. All right, so this is where you want to get yourself a nice bag, get all your leaves off into the bag, get all your figs off, and get your tree put away. Now, at the same time, if you want to prune your tree, this is a good time to prune. All right. A lot of people that have figs, what they'll do is they will prune their tree and they'll save the cuttings for giving away or selling, or however you choose to do it. Now, I usually don't do that. I usually just put my trees away. I take the leaves and the figs off and put them away. And then if somebody wants a cutting over winter, or I want to take a cutting over the winter, I just basically go in my garage and take the cutting. This way it's fresh. It hasn't been sitting in a fridge for a long time, and it usually produces better results. Okay. Now, not to say that cuttings taken and put in the fridge and stored properly don't, but hey, if you can have it fresh, why not? Then what happens is, just before the spring, I take a look at my tree, and if I need to prune it in a specific way, I will make the necessary adjustments, and then I can take those cuttings and I can root them right in the spring or during the summer. Okay, so no harm in not root pruning your tree now and doing it before the tree wakes up at the end of winter or in the early spring. Okay. All right, so here we have our MBVS, which is a little bit more resilient than some of the other ones. So you could see some of the leaves are kind of on there, but we see the leaves at the bottom of the pot, so we know the tree has already got the signal to start going dormant. So I know this is dormant. I need to clean it up because I want to store it. So I'm basically taking off these leaves, and you could see that all these leaves are in fact coming off with no latex, nothing. They're easily coming off. Okay. Even down here, so down there we have a new shoot coming up, which what I can do with that is turn this around so you can see it. There's a new shoot right here. I could actually dig into the pot, pull that out, put it in a pot, and have a new tree starting. So this here, as you could see, is now 100% ready for storage. I could put that away, and during the winter I could come in and I could take cuttings from this tree, okay? And that will give me the cuttings I need. So I'm just gonna do some more trees here, and we'll get back to you shortly. Okay, so if you look here, here's our Col de Dent Blanc, which likes to really hold on to everything. But if you look here, look, this is a fig. And this fig here is basically gone, wasted. Poor fig. Delicious figs off of this tree, let me tell you. So all this now needs to come off. Okay, this is where you need to be really careful with your labels, because you may know where all your trees are and how they look and whatever. Once the leaves come off, everything is kind of going to look very, very similar. So this is where you need to make sure you have at least one label, but if you have 2 or 3, it's better, because a lot of these trees will lose their labels in the shuffling and the moving. So my advice to you is to add more labels to these trees, okay? You can go to the dollar store and get some of those cheap plastic labels and a Sharpie and just throw some extra ones on there, okay? I like more permanent labels, but if you have one permanent and then you want to do a couple of temporary ones, you can, okay? I'm gonna just go to work here and start getting leaves off of these trees. Okay, the other important thing I wanted to mention to you is do not leave leaves and or figs at the bottom of your pot. You may think, okay, you know, they're not on the tree, they can't do any harm, they're just at the bottom of the pot, eventually they'll disintegrate and become compost. No. A lot of those will begin to rot and things will infest underneath them, and especially figs. Figs will rot. So you just want to leave it clean. You want to leave the bottom of your pot clean before you put them in storage. Okay? So just clean that up. Put everything in your recycling bags. I wanted to point something out. If you have a fig that is this size, I don't know if you could kind of see, that's my finger, so it is like a quarter of my fingernail. Okay, it was just beginning to come out when the tree went dormant. You could probably get away with leaving that on if you want breba. That may turn into a breba if your tree is the kind of tree that puts out breba. Okay, but anything bigger than that, and you know, it's not guaranteed that that will make it, but anything bigger than that, no. But something that size may turn into a breba if your tree puts out breba. So things are moving right along here, getting all the leaves and the figs off. Some trees left to go. Our bag here is nice and full of figs and fig leaves, ones that we'll never get to taste, but that's just the way it is in our climate. All right, it got dark, so I didn't want to record in the dark, but pretty much all my potted trees are done. I got all the leaves off and they are ready to be put in my garage. Now what I like to do, I never put them directly on the floor of the garage, because the floor gets really, really cold, and it's actually the coldest part. So I try as much as I can to prevent them from getting hit with that cold right from the bottom. Okay, the other thing is, for trees like this, if you look here, you'll see, where are we got the green, this is probably going to get damaged if the garage gets too cold. So for ones like this with fresh new growth like this, I like to bring them down to my cold room. So they're really small pots. If it's in a big pot like that over there, whatever, I don't bother, you know. But the smaller pots, I wouldn't mind bringing them. So as far as this goes, okay, the skid, you want to make sure before you put your pots on it, it's set in place in the garage, unless you have a way to move it, which I do, so I don't have to worry. What I did is I will put my pots in a way where, and you got to turn them sometimes so that, you know, the branches are not going in the middle, so that you can have space in the middle for another tree. So I would usually, to make as much space as possible, stack them into 2 layers, okay? And you could see here the difference in color, because that's a grafted, I grafted here and actually here. So we got 2 different types of figs on this tree that are not the same as what the rootstock is. All right. So that's pretty much it. The other thing you got to do is you got to make sure in the winter, I'm not sure if I mentioned this earlier, you got to put about a cup, half a cup to a cup of water, depending on the pot size, every month. So what I do is I set an alarm on my phone every month, water the trees. So I'll go in the garage and I'll just squirt a little bit of water in every pot, and that'll keep them going until spring rolls around. So that's very important. A lot of people forget to water in the spring. Their trees are dead because they dried out during the winter. Okay, the other thing is, if you want, if your garage is not very warm, you can throw some burlap over them. And sometimes what I do is I'll just put a layer of plastic as well. I get that plastic that they use, like a vapor barrier plastic. You get it at Home Depot in the drywall section, where the insulation and the drywall is. That thick plastic, I'll just get a roll and wrap it around the skid to prevent the wind from hitting it. I'm going to experiment for my outdoor fig trees with a wilt-proof spray. I'll try to put a link down in the description of where to get it from on Amazon. And that helps the tree dry out and makes not dry out and make it a little bit more resistant to the wind and the cold if they do get through outside. Okay, the other thing is, if you're storing them anywhere near a garage door, if there's a leak, try to somehow prevent that leak, or don't put them directly where the wind is leaking from. One year I had them right up against the door and the cold wind was seeping in, and the pot that was closest there, it kind of got hit. So the other thing you might want to do is take your hardiest varieties and put them towards the edges, and put the more delicate varieties in the middle. So they'll stay a little bit warmer as well. Every little bit makes a difference. Thanks for watching. Please share this video if you know somebody that wants to get into fig trees or has fig trees. And leave me a comment if you have any questions. And please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.